The 911 dispatch center was a maze of screens, phones, and blinking lights. The soft hum of computers and the occasional sharp ring of a phone filled the air, punctuated by the focused murmurs of operators who had long ago learned to mask the chaos outside with calm professionalism. Tonight was Maya Jensen's third week on the night shift, a trial by fire she never anticipated would become so personal. Maya had always believed 911 was about emergencies, fires, crashes, robberies, medical crises where every second counted. But that night, as the clock slipped past 7 and the city settled into its uneasy twilight, Maya would discover the kind of emergency no one had prepared her for. The line lit up again, and with practiced ease, she answered, 911, what's your emergency? A soft, trembling voice answered, barely above a whisper. Hello? Is anyone there? I'm just so alone. Maya blinked, surprised. This was not the usual frantic cry for help. It was a fragile confession, a crack in the armor of loneliness. Sir, can you tell me your name? Maya asked gently, leaning closer to the microphone. Charles, came the faint reply. I'm lonely. My wife passed away last year, and my kids, they're busy with their lives. I've been calling. I don't know what else to do. Maya felt a pang of something unfamiliar, an ache that wasn't tied to adrenaline or procedure but to pure human empathy. Charles, I'm here. You're not bothering anyone. You're not alone, she said softly. Can you tell me if you're okay right now? Any medical issues? No, I'm safe. Just so quiet, it's like the walls are closing in. Maya swallowed hard, aware of the heavy silence that often wrapped around the elderly, invisible to the busy world outside. Would you like me to stay on the line with you a while? There was a pause, then a whisper, yes, please. The call queue hummed around her, urgent calls from elsewhere, but Maya's world narrowed to Charles's voice, cracked with sorrow and fragile hope. As minutes ticked by, Charles spoke softly of the life he had shared with his wife, the garden they had tended, the long walks, the laughter that once filled the house. Maya listened, her voice a gentle anchor in the dark. But the calls kept flooding in. A man trapped under a collapsed wall, yelling for help. A young mother frantic for her missing toddler. A driver trapped in rising floodwaters, the water licking closer to the car windows. Maya toggled between dispatching emergency teams and soothing Charles, caught in a web of crisis that stretched her thin. In those moments, the line between professional duty and personal connection blurred. Charles called again hours later, his voice steadier but tinged with fatigue. Thank you for listening, Maya. It helps, more than I can say. Maya smiled, though no one could see. You're never alone, Charles. We'll find people to visit, to check on you. You deserve company. She typed a quick message to the county's social outreach program and a volunteer group that specialized in senior visits. But the night's demands pulled her back into the storm. The fire alarm blared in the next county over. Ambulance dispatch for a suspected heart attack. A domestic violence call escalating rapidly. Each emergency pressed against the thin veil of calm Maya fought to maintain. She moved with quiet urgency, directing responders, gathering information, soothing frantic voices. Amid the chaos, the weight of Charles's loneliness lingered in her mind, an echo of the unseen battles waging quietly in homes across the city. Near midnight, a frail voice came through again. Are you still there, Maya? Always, Charles. I'm here. The sound of his breathing was ragged, worn from loneliness and time. Maya leaned closer to the microphone. Tomorrow, I'll make sure someone comes by. You won't be alone. A silence stretched. Thank you, he whispered. Tears stung her eyes. Around her, the center pulsed with urgent life, calls piling, responders racing, lives hanging in the balance. Yet for Maya, the true emergency had become clear. Sometimes, the greatest rescue was a voice on the line, a promise that someone cared, that even in the deepest silence, no one had to face the night alone. She settled in for the long hours ahead. Because in this job, every call was a lifeline. And every life deserved to be heard. The dawn's fragile light seeped reluctantly through the dusty blinds of the 911 dispatch center, casting long, weary shadows across the tired faces of the operators who had weathered the storm's brutal toll overnight. Jensen sat stiffly at her console, headset still in place, eyes burning from exhaustion but blazing with an unwavering focus born of necessity. The night had stretched endlessly, minutes slipping like water through her fingers as she balanced crises, hopes, and lives hanging by a thread. Her mind, though tired, drifted momentarily to Charles, the elderly man whose lonely voice had carved a fragile space in her heart during the darkest hours. His whispered stories of loss, the ache behind his words, and the bravery it took just to call had become more than a passing case. They had become a mission. Just then, the phone buzzed sharply, yanking Maya from the memories. She tightened her grip on the headset and answered. 911, what's your emergency? The voice on the line was unmistakable. Maya? It's Charles. The sound was faint, but filled with warmth and vulnerability. I just wanted to thank you. For listening. For not hanging up when I called all those times. Maya smiled softly, heart swelling. You're never a bother, Charles. I'm so glad to hear from you. How have you been? Better, he replied quietly. A volunteer came by today. We talked, it made a difference. I'm starting to feel less alone. Tears welled unbidden in Maya's eyes, and she blinked them back quickly. That's wonderful news. You deserve to feel connected. I'll keep checking in with you. Charles's gratitude filled the line like a balm. But Maya's world was never still for long. The storm's aftermath still clawed at the city, and the flood of emergency calls began anew as more residents awoke to the devastation outside their doors. Her screen flashed urgently. Floodwaters rising rapidly. Woman trapped in car near Elm and 5th. Maya's fingers flew as she dispatched rescue teams and kept the caller calm. Stay inside the vehicle. Lock the doors. Can you keep your window cracked for air? Yes, but the water's moving fast, the voice trembled. Minutes stretched painfully as rescue boats navigated treacherous currents. Dispatch, we have eyes on the vehicle. Extraction imminent. Relief washed through Maya, but exhaustion clung stubbornly. A few minutes later, a call crackled through, a frantic father screaming for help as his home's foundation gave way beneath the weight of saturated earth. Please. My wife's trapped in the basement. The walls are collapsing. Maya's heart pounded. She coordinated immediate dispatch of rescue squads, fire teams, and EMS. Units Alpha and Bravo, priority rescue at 283 Maple Avenue. Structural collapse. Victims trapped. She stayed on the line, guiding the caller through emergency procedures, keeping him focused, breathing, hopeful. Elsewhere, a teenager dialed in frantic, stranded on a flooded road. My car stalled. The water's rising fast. Maya patched in swift water rescue units, talking the teen through staying safe until help arrived. The weight of every call pressed on her shoulders. The stories of fear, pain, courage, and hope became a river flooding through her thoughts. Throughout the night, Maya shifted effortlessly, dispatcher, counselor, coordinator. Her voice was the calm in a storm of panic and chaos. Yet, amid the emergencies, the memory of Charles lingered, a reminder of the silent battles many fought alone. At one point, during a rare lull, Maya checked in with the volunteer group she'd contacted on Charles's behalf. The coordinator's message brought a quiet joy. Charles is responding well. He's looking forward to the weekly visits and the community dinners. Your support made that happen. Maya leaned back in her chair, allowing herself a rare moment of warmth and pride. But the calls did not stop. A report came in from a nursing home, power failure, vulnerable patients, failing medical equipment. She mobilized EMS and arranged for emergency generators. The dispatch center became a web of coordination: police, fire, medical, volunteers, all responding to fragments of a city broken but fighting to heal. Maya's voice was a thread weaving through it all, binding shattered pieces with strength and compassion. As the sun rose, casting golden light over the battered city, the magnitude of the night's work pressed down on Maya. Her voice was hoarse, body aching, but her spirit was fierce. This was the heart of emergency service, not just the rush of adrenaline or the blaring sirens, but the moments of connection, of being the voice that bridges despair to hope. She glanced at the clock. The day's calls were beginning anew. Her headset beeped, another ring. Maya inhaled deeply and answered. 911, what's your emergency?